Welcome everybody to Go Local Live. I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder. Wednesday, that means Mott and Chace Day, and we have literally, not figuratively, literally the #1 realtor so far this year, Donna Simmons, down in Watch Hill area. Donna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Josh, for inviting me. It's always great to be here.
Donna, you've sold more real estate. The value of the real estate you've sold this year in the first quarter was greater than anyone else. I know you like Kentucky Fried Chicken and Coca-Cola, don't like to give away the secret recipes, but give us a little insight into why you've been able to hit the ball quite so hard so far this year.
Well, I think it's a combination of, working harder, working smarter. It is harder to find great deals these days, so that's where the working harder and longer hours comes in, and really going out into the community and talking to people who maybe hadn't thought about selling their house before, and literally striking a conversation with them to see if they might have an interest. And I think if at the very least, people are very complimented by the fact that somebody might want to buy their house. And secondly, it can get them thinking either short term or potentially long term. And when people see that someone is assertive enough to go out and work on your behalf, then they're much more likely to sign up with you when it's time to sell their property.
So Donna, are you telling me that you think there might be a correlation between hard work and success? This is
Well,
breaking news.
I know. Well, actually, I've heard the old saying, it's, we work harder, not smarter. But hopefully in this business, we're working smart and hard. But I think, the times have really caused we as agents, and I talk to other agents at Mott and Chace, you just have to up your game. You have to level up to what's going on out in the marketplace and look under all those hidden places for opportunities. And so it's a combination of really both.
Ugh, I'm going to give up this cryptocurrency thing and the lottery tickets and might try this hard work thing for a little bit. In all seriousness, Donna, let's talk about the state of the market. Before we came on, you gave a statistic. Please share it with everybody.
Well, yes, we're all looking around and saying, gee, prices have really escalated in the last few years. And so one of the things that I have done for my clients is look at the state of the entire Rhode Island real estate market in the last 4 years. And it is staggering to me that since 2019 through 2023, and these are numbers from the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, so
Right.
they are supplied by them, that prices have gone up in that 4-year period 55%, which is just huge. So no wonder people who are living in their houses and have low interest rates and have seen a big equity increase are staying put until those interest rates maybe come down and they can trade that equity in for a bigger place. So it has been a driving factor in sort of the tightness of the market. In 2019, the average or the median sale price of a house in Rhode Island, throughout Rhode Island, was $285,000. Today, it's $442,000. And that is, again, as of the end of 2023. So in looking for clients, some of the hidden gems within our state and where people could go, where the median prices are either slightly below the 442,000 average across the state.
Yeah.
I found 6 communities and towns. And what I tried to do was look geographically. So in Newport County, the little town that I cited is Tiverton.
Right.
Tiverton prices, the median price at the end of last year was $426,000, which is less than the Rhode Island average. And if you've ever been to Tiverton, it is delightful. You've got four little hamlets or villages, including Corners, Four Corners, North Tiverton. It's east of the Seconic River, and it's just an idyllic place. So that would be my suggestion for buyers, particularly in Newport County.
Yeah.
For the Metro East Bay area, which includes Barrington, Warren, East Providence, Providence, etc., I would ask people to take a real look at Johnston. It is convenient to Providence. It's convenient to the highway, to mass transit, and it competes favorably with its two bigger cousins, both Cranston and Providence. So people who find a place there in some of these sweet neighborhoods can take advantage of everything in the larger metropolitan areas just next to it. And then in looking in the northern part of the state, which I include, Lincoln, Cumberland, Pawtucket, Central Falls, I actually have two. One is Woonsocket, which is at $350,000, medium price point at the end of 2023. So it's almost 100,000 less
Yeah,
than
and there's some
was.
great houses up there, huge
There is
Victorians, etc.
exactly, exactly. It's an old mill town. It's home to, CVS. It is very commutable both to Providence, and it's not that far from Boston either. So it's sort of a little hidden gem. And the second one that I pulled from the northern part of the state is Pawtucket. You have great access to Providence and mass transit. It's rich in history. In fact, in some of my research a few months ago, I didn't realize that it is considered the birthplace of American
You
industrial
got to get
age.
out of Westerly more often.
I know,
Gosh
who
darn it.
knew? Who knew? But
Sam Slater would be furious that you didn't know this.
I love it. But besides that fun fact, it also has, a really creative vibe these days with artists and, tech savvy designers, sculptors, and architects. So it's just a really up and coming area. Then moving to South County, that one was a little harder because we've got Charlestown, all the beach communities,
Yeah, just
Rock
going through
Island.
the roof. Yeah.
Exactly. But this community is a bit higher than the average in the state of Rhode Island, but it's South Kingstown, and
Mm,
it is about $515,000 medium price,
yeah.
which is a little higher than the 442 for the whole state. But it's a coastal town, folks. Come down and see it. And it's known for its natural beauty, has a couple of beaches, and it even has some farmlands there.
And some pretty good schools. If you
Oh,
if you, you
yes.
you lay out all those communities, South Kingstown's usually in the top 5, 6 school systems in the state.
As I understand, that is correct. And then finally, in Kent County, which sort of includes East Greenwich, West Warwick, that whole area, I would say have a look at Coventry. It's
Yeah.
filled with lakes and rivers, and it offers kayaking and boating and fishing. And it's great for somebody who wants to spend a lot of time outdoors. And then finally, as we know, you are always probably within 75 minutes of the end of Rhode Island, wherever you are at most. And so it's a great state to, live in and then play in other areas. So my 6 towns that I would invite people to take a second look at because of their lower median price points are Tiverton, Johnston, Woonsocket, Pawtucket, South Kingstown, and Coventry. And I'd be
Yeah, that's right.
happy to give you this information so you could put it online.
Great. Donna, thanks so much. Let's talk about Watch Hill and Westerly. What's going on down there this summer?
It took a while to get things up and running. It's still been a little quiet. We are beginning to have our sort of resort community begin to return, and weather always plays a part in that. So the better the weather, the earlier people tend to come. There are some good houses on the market there. I could think of three that have come on. I know that sounds like a very tiny market, but they're actually four, but they're from the sort of $7 million range to the $10 million range. And then we have one that's gone on at 8 Manatuck that's priced just under 15 million. So it's a great oceanfront property, really a wonderful one to stop in and see. So we're waiting for you to come down and look at it, Josh.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm just counting up some stuff that I had found in my couch over the weekend. I should be right at that $15 million mark by the end of the week. Just talk about a little bit about sort of, is that influx that we've seen sparked by COVID? Listen, Westerly's always had out-of-towners buying up Watch Hill. I mean, it's a community that has a huge base from the Midwest. More recently, New York and Boston. It's a summer community that brings a lot of people together from different parts of the country and even the world now. Are we still seeing that influx coming in, centered around, they visited the Ocean House and they are looking to live in Watch Hill, Westerly, Charlestown, wherever they can get their hands on?
I think there is still an influx. Is it at the same rapid pace that it was during COVID? I would say not. I think the world has become more sensible since the COVID epidemic, and rightly so. And so people are kind of taking a step back and assessing. I know that our rental market is softer. It was soft last year as well. It's usually a very vibrant summer market. And
Sure.
part of that is a sense that, those years during COVID, we really couldn't travel internationally. And so people came to Watch Hill to rent and some ultimately to buy. Last year, we saw a real movement and shift toward people not spending as much time in their summer community and taking some of that time to travel internationally because they
Yeah.
had not been able to do that since 2019. And I think last year was the first year that we had an all clear signal to travel in most of the countries that we wanted to go.
Donna, lastly, talk a little bit about what is on the market right now and at what price points are they?
Okay, there is the 14.9 million, which is 8 Manatuck, that has 180-degree ocean views. It's really quite a beautiful house with a carriage house. So in total, you've got room for guests and certainly plenty of family room. There is a house on the market, also in Watch Hill, that's on for 7.9. It's quite a family compound. It has a pool. It has Pawcatuck River views, and if you know your geography, the Pawcatuck River empties into the mouth of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
So there's some beautiful views from that house. There's a house also in another section of Westerly called Avondale, which is on Avondale Road. There is a house there, great family house with 7 bedrooms. It's on for just under $10 million. It has a deep water dock, so it's great for a boater. And it also has a small guest house. So it is just a kind of a wonderful sampling of what's there right now.
Donna, you know all. What's the rest of the summer going to look like, and what should we be thinking about the fall? Today's numbers was that the inflation had come down a little bit. We've got big decisions by Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. Is he going to hold steady at about 7% is what the 30-year average mortgage is at? Or are we going to see a rate cut by the Fed that might help push things back down at least to the sixes for interest rates? What's your thinking?
Well, I forgot to bring my crystal ball, but
Magic 8 ball from Benny's.
I had one. Obviously it's difficult to project. I heard some things yesterday too, in the business media that suggested that if we get sort of a good signal on inflation, that there might be some consideration by the Fed for, say, a September, perhaps 25 basis points. But this again is just hearsay. I think the Fed is going to be cautious, and probably rightly so. um, it hurts when you're trying to get a mortgage on a house a lot.
Right.
But I think as I understand, the Fed is really trying to contain the market because it is, it looks as though it could be poised for another leg up if we do get interest rates taken down a little bit. And I think there's a lot of concern on that, is to just keep it as stable as we possibly can for as long as we can. And of course, we as agents are always hoping that interest rates will come down so that our clients will have the benefit of those lower rates, especially people who did need to move and did buy something in the high sixes and low sevens. It would be really nice if they could refinance in the fives. So we're hoping. We don't know.
Um, Donna, thank you so much as always, and also seriously, congratulations. Being the #1 realtor in the state of Rhode Island that first quarter of this year is really a remarkable achievement. So kudos to you, and always appreciate your expertise. You're always humble about it, but it's really quite remarkable. So appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.
For everybody else, stay tuned. A lot going on. It's a major story. This morning we talked to two major top-tier restaurateurs, sort of raising the concerns about the warning signs of how all these things, the bridge closure coupled with problems in Providence, are impacting the restaurant industry in the city. Take a look at that. We'll have much more. The General Assembly is probably wrapping up this week. They still need to vote on this major corporate subsidy to Citizens Bank, who is threatening to leave the state if they don't get $15 million in annual subsidies on top of their average of $15 million, on top of the fact that they pay zero, virtually zero, property taxes in Johnstown, their $285 million property. So good eating for Citizens Bank in this state. Stay tuned for much more all day and into tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.